Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
And let's get to hour number 2 of the Mark Hoke Show, the best in professional wrestling news and entertainment. And, of course, not only are we on 101.5 FM, KDAWN, the talk of Las Vegas, not only are we on the Odyssey app worldwide, we are also streaming live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook right now. So I want to thank you for being with us. Wherever you're catching the show, we certainly do appreciate it. I'm Mark Hoke along with the David Difference.
Yes, sir.
Say it again, man.
Yes, sir. Oh,
not that.
Oh, what a difference a Dave made.
Jeez.
We're still in the building. Can we
what?
Close that door real quick. I think we're letting some of the acoustics out in this place.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, got to be careful on that, guys.
Yeah.
And as he sits down, Jose Volonte.
Yes, sir.
Of course,
here.
You'll get to hear us talk sports tomorrow night on SportsX Radio.
I won't be here tomorrow night.
No?
I will be on another show from 2 to 4 p.m. I'm working late, so I won't be able to do tomorrow night show here, though.
Wow. So who am I doing the show with?
I think it's Ken, because he's in town. We were at the charity softball game last night.
So I get to work with a professional. Okay, that's good.
Wow.
It's all good. We've also got from Future Stars of Wrestling, Damian Drake sitting in with us as well, and very happy to have you here, sir.
Thank you for having me.
But we have, I got to tell you, I am so excited to have this guy on the show. Just unbelievable character. One of a great name in pro wrestling. Yep. You've seen him. Mm-hmm. And, of course, he's done a ton of movies, too. Was the Billy Idol fan in Wedding Singer and did so much more.
God,
but
I love that part.
But, of course, we are going to be having the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion coming up here at the end of August. That is August 28th through the 30th at the Plaza. And if you haven't gotten your CAC membership, well, you're a moron.
Man,
so just go ahead and do it.
Whoa.
Help these guys out, man. It's a terrific charity. $25 a year. So sign up now and get your tickets for this event, because you're going to get to see this man win the real award at the CAC reunion. He is Mr. Outrageous Al Burke on the show. Oh, welcome.
There he is, man. Legend in the building.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Legend just means I'm old.
No, not at all. Come on.
Come on, man. Classic.
That is not true, Al. No one says that to you to your face.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Well, we're very happy to have you on the show. Welcome. And Al, first, congratulations on the award. Very excited to get to see you recognized at the CAC for everything that you've done in pro wrestling and on the movie side as well. Now, I had some fun researching you and watching some of your matches. And I dug up one, and I got to start with this real quick, because I was watching you wrestle with Bob Bradley against the Legion of Doom on Wrestling Superstars in 1990. And by the way, I'm just going to say screw Bob Bradley, because he threw you under the bus in that match, dude. He just bailed out of the ring and let those Legion of Doom guys bury you. That was harsh.
You know the best part about that? Joe and Mike and I were good friends. I worked out at their gym for years. And when they came, they chose me because they knew I could bump and do everything. And they apologized up front, saying, hey, it's going to be a tough night because, this is our first match coming in here and it's going to be brutal. And I'm like, F you, bring it, boys. Saw the match. Yeah, it looked devastating. Those guys were pros from the word go. I hardly felt a thing. They were that good. Wow. I mean, even those drop kicks. I mean, boom. And, I know how to take a bump, obviously, and, sell the shit out of their stuff to make them look good, because that was fun. Yeah, it was a fun night. I was privileged, as many of my opponents, that I got to work against in WWF. I see you're promoting me as WWE. No, we were old school. We were cool school. We were WWF.
Fair enough. And by the way, I'll just remind we are on terrestrial radio.
Terrestrial radio.
Yeah, so we got to watch the profanities there. Just
just a little bit.
But he is Mr. Outrageous, so you never know what's coming.
Right.
That's
I will watch it, yes.
Okay, I appreciate that because I have to dive for that dump button. But you're on the wrestling side of your career. It was very interesting going back and looking through your database because you were in the ring with just about every major superstar on the planet. And it was absolutely incredible to see all the things that you did in pro wrestling. I mean, there wasn't anybody you weren't in the ring with, I think.
I mean, I was blessed. I mean, I tell people I was up against the biggest, baddest names in all of pro wrestling back then. And, I was honored to be there. I was thrilled. And, it was good times.
So what are some of the highlights of your pro wrestling career when you look back at it?
Facing some of these guys, I mean, I did get to go against Andre.
Saw that.
Most people can never say that in their lifetime. I was actually in the ring with him twice. First time, him and Haku were not the tag team champions. They were just Colossal Connection. The next time, they were the tag team champions of the WWF. And, what an honor. But guys like that, I mean... Big John Studd taking the bear hug from John. I had no idea John was that strong. I mean, I started off, bang, bang, bang. I hit him a couple of shots, jump up on the rope, turn around, and he was right there and grabbed me by the throat and pulled me off slowly, holding me with one arm. And I'm 240, 245 back then, and slowly started to lose me. So he just reached under my ass and threw me into the turnbuckle. Instantly, I knew, oh, dang, this guy is strong. Nice guy. I mean, most everybody was really nice. I mean, it helped that I was friends with Ravishing Rick Rude, Kurt Hennig. I came out of Minnesota and all that. So we all had our little connection. So they took care of me there. And, it was good times. I mean, I was blessed to face, all of them that I did. And I was very grateful.
Now, I know you did a little bit of time with Herb Abrams in the UWF.
I did.
And obviously, we saw that on the Dark Side of the Ring episode, just how crazy that time was.
Oh, you have no idea.
Well, that's why. Well, I'm asking you right now. Give us an idea on how crazy it was with Herb Abrams in the UWF.
I'll just give you one quick story. When we were at the MGM Grand doing Blackjack Brawl, Herb had to, bring in a hooker. Now, Herb, that was his life.
Okay.
He got caught by his girlfriend.
Oh, no.
So I had to take the fall. Everybody knows Herb, and it's just like, yeah, right, Burke. It wasn't you, was it? And I'm like, maybe not. So things like that, happen with Herb. One other quick one, went to Maui. Herb took me and gave me an extra ticket. I had nobody I wanted to go with at the time, so I gave him back the spare ticket. But Steve Williams, Dr. Death, and his girlfriend came in. And Herb was bringing his girlfriend. They fought the night before. He brought a Heidi Fleiss hooker with him then. Because back then, your ticket could just be passed on to anybody, no security.
Nice.
And so 3 days into that trip, he told me, take her back to the airport, get rid of her. I'm done with her. But that was Herb, and that was the craziness. And I ended up becoming second in command. I was in charge of all West Coast operations. I actually still have his film library of all the shows he did, and 240 hours, I believe, of footage. It was an interesting ride, but that was Herb, and I lived through it. He didn't.
Well, there you have it.
That's incredible. But you have all that footage, huh?
I do. And actually, Mean Gene Okerlund's son did the editing, and he was distributing it for a while. Unfortunately, it's in between, antique stuff and just nothing. So there hasn't been a real call for it. Mean Gene actually did voiceovers on a lot of the things to help, bring up the quality a little bit. But yeah, it's if somebody's out there and wants to put it on their, their program, whatever it is, their cable channel, get in touch with me and we'll see if we can figure it out. But it's not, the last guy was, new to streaming and all that and thought, oh yeah, I would love to have it on my show. But what he was offering for, compensation didn't even cover the storage that we're paying.
Mm.
Wow.
Gotcha. I got a question.
Anyway.
So, well known for your enhancement work in the ring there. And we were talking about it earlier, the term jobber. I've heard you use it a few times. Is that outlawed? Are we too woke to use that now? Or?
I have no problem being called a jobber because I was back then. My job was to go in and make the big guys look good. And, I would hear guys come into all of it and, you'd hear, maybe talking to their opponent that night. And he goes, well, I'd like to do this and I'd like to do that. And I'm like, shut up. You're a freaking jobber. Your job is to just make them look good. So I always suggested things that would make them look stronger. One of my biggest things was a slingshot from outside, into the middle of the ring. And I always told them, if we come to this point where I'm outside, I'll sell it to the crowd. You come over, slingshot me in, I'll give you a hell of a bump. Usually I'd do one bounce and my feet would be in the ropes on the next. That's how far across I'd go. And yeah, they look like monsters, which they were, but that was my job. And I have no problem with that. I mean, you can say what you want. I lived that life in the WWF. I got to travel on the road. I got to do house shows. I think I did like 30 TV matches. That's actually on the IMDb, which is kind of our Bible here in Hollywood. I've got no problem with that because that's what I was. I was a jobber, but I went to the independents where I could really, live large, and I did there too.
Right. And in the WWF, was that what you were hired for? It's like, you're just going to be enhancement talent. There's no opportunity of a push coming down the line. And if that was the case, have you ever seen anybody go from the enhancement talent to getting a big push?
I did have 2 dark matches, which is your chance to shine. It's not shown on TV. I knew I wasn't big enough back then. I was in the land of the giants. I mean, I think the average size was like 6'4" or 6'5", and, a minimum of 250, 260, 275. Yeah, I was a little guy out there. I mean, I was just a hair under 6 foot and 240 to 245. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do anything that I wasn't supposed to there because I knew I wasn't going to thrive there.
Okay, so they just said, this is your job. This is what you do.
And if you don't like it, you can move on.
Right.
There's no reason to say. The fun part was within the first year, I paid for my whole wrestling school in 1 year, just in WWF.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
So, and plus, I have friends that we still talk, we still laugh, we still, talk about different road trips we were on and the fun we had, and it was an awesome time. And at TV tapings, they have a big, catered dinner. And so we were always laughing. This is our last supper. We're dying tonight. But, these are the fun things. And yeah, we still, like I said, I've got friends from back then that we still laugh and talk about the old days and how much fun we had.
Well, of course, you managed to translate this into all sorts of film credits and, a pretty decent career in Hollywood. Tell everybody a little bit about how you got into doing feature films and so on.
It first started, now I got to start this with, I've never taken one acting class, not one. Okay. Everything I learned came from pro wrestling. Wow. And, Carl Lauer, who was the CEO, I believe it was his actual title, of Cauliflower, actually hired me for my very first movie as an actor and a stuntman. And he started this ball rolling for me. And I went and got an agent and got another agent and got managers. And for a while, I sat around waiting for the phone to ring, which, is a huge mistake for anybody out there. Take control of your own destiny and work it.
Amen.
Once I did that, right now, or I'd say the last probably 10 years, I work approximately 2 different jobs a week. So that's over 100 jobs a year. Most people, are lucky to get 10 or 20 credits on IMDb, and that's it. They're done. They walk away with their tail between their legs. And, I wasn't going to do that. So I worked it like a sled dog. And, yeah, I've got, almost 300 credits just there, not even counting music videos, which I've done hundreds and hundreds. I mean, I stopped counting at about 500.
Hats off.
Yeah, it was my bread and butter. I mean, it was, easy work. You go in, you shoot, you leave. And, yeah, it was awesome. So no complaints by me.
I have a question for Al.
Yes.
So you being an OG, like David said, in the wrestling scene, and I mean that respectfully, seeing where the state of wrestling is now with all the shows, all the networks, all the stuff that we have going on, all the circuits, and seeing the way it was when you wrestled, are you happy the state of wrestling where it's at right now, or are there some things that you wish they would try to incorporate or change?
I'm not happy with wrestling at all. Most of us from old school days will not watch the new stuff.
Really?
It's not wrestling anymore. I mean, to us. I mean, I don't know. They always say, "Oh, that's your wrestling. This is the new style." Well, your new style sucks. Sorry.
Wow, yes, sir. I like it.
Maybe I heard it on this show from before where it said, the marks became wrestlers and the wrestlers became marks.
Mm-hmm.
So true, but so sad. And, it just is what it is. I mean, I'm thrilled that I lived kind of in the glory years, I call it. It was good times. I mean, when you're facing the Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant or Hacksaw Jim Duggan or guys like this, even Bob Backlund. Wow, what a thrill, because these were real wrestlers back then. Now, you've got a few out there, but for the most part, no, sorry.
Well, we do got Damian Drake, man, and he's here. He's up and coming, man.
Good,
so, any advice you have to the younger generation here, Damian Drake, who is future stars of wrestling and making his name throughout the U.S., like any advice that you have for the younger talent out there, based on your experience in the business?
Yeah, first of all, take the business seriously. Don't just be, I'm happy I'm a pro wrestler. No, learn the business. Learn it inside and out. One of the things that I got chewed out early on in my in wrestling school, and my trainer told me, he says, yeah, you did like 25 moves in that match. Could have done 50. Could have done 100. Until you learn the psychology of the business, how to work, how to sell, and how to tell a story. Really tell the story to the fans. That's what we're missing. So my advice is really learn this. I mean, I did 37 years in the ring as a pro wrestler, and I've done almost 20 years as an actor. It worked for me, and I believe it can work for every one of you if you use it properly. So really learn the business. Like I said, I never took an acting class. Everything I did as an actor, and I've got, what have I got? Like 300 credits just from IMDb with stunts and acting. It all came from my pro wrestling background. Granted, the stunts, more from the stunt from the wrestling side of it, but the acting, no. But the training you can get from being a pro wrestler is invaluable, in my opinion.
Wow, that is incredible advice.
Beautiful.
Al, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we want to talk to you a little bit more about your career and everything that's going on with the Cauliflower Alley Club, because we've got that huge event coming up here in the end of August where you're going to be receiving the CAC's Real Award. And look at that.
There it is.
Very nice. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more when we return here on the Mark Hoke Show. Just having a great time here with Al Burke. And, of course, we've got the David Difference, Jose Volonte, Damian Drake, and yours truly, this harmless, lovable little fuzzball, Mark Hoke.
Dance off.
Yeah, dance off
yes,
coming.
And I guess there's some sort of dance off coming, too. So stick around, everybody. We've got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show when we return here on KDAWN. KDAWN, stick around. We'll be right back.
Get ready for one of the most exciting and interactive events on the pro wrestling calendar. The 57th annual Cauliflower Alley Club reunion at the Plaza in Las Vegas. Meet some of your all-time professional wrestling favorites. Check out the wrestling memorabilia. Participate in terrific seminars and star-studded events, including Tuesday and Wednesday night CAC awards and dinner nights. Visit caulifloweralleyclub.org and get your tickets and membership today. That's caulifloweralleyclub.org.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show. Another great segment of pro wrestling news and entertainment coming at you. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us today. We certainly do appreciate all of you listening out there, whether it's on KDAWN, the Odyssey app, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. And by the way, subscribe to us on YouTube. Yeah. We would certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, do that.
That helps us out a lot. Seriously.
Also, Instagram, Mr. Burke, I just saw that you followed us there at the Mark Hoke Show on Instagram. We appreciate that. And a little fun fact, he used to do karate with Eric Bischoff, correct?
I did.
Eric Bischoff, wow.
We never got along even back then. Yeah. But we only fought once, and it was a 1-0 fight, and I won. So, and I always held that over his head, and it always made him very unhappy. And I don't care.
There we go. Of course, Albert, Mr. Outrageous, longtime pro wrestler, actor, and of course is going to be receiving the Cauliflower Alley Club's Real Award at the Plaza ceremony at the Plaza coming up here August 28th through the 30th, which is going to be an awesome time down there. And Al, tell everybody a little bit about your association with the CAC and the importance of this organization.
Well, I first started with the CAC back in the early 90s, so a long time ago. And actually, a good friend of mine was Sherry Martell, Scary Sherry, Sensational Sherry. She brought me into it and introduced me to people there. She was actually at my very first wrestling match when I came out of wrestling school. So, I miss her dearly. She was a doll. But anyways, she brought me in, introduced me to people, and that's when I realized one of the biggest things they do is help the older wrestlers that have fallen on hard times. It's a great organization. I mean, knock on wood, I have not had to be there yet, and I hope I never do. But, as you know, we've lost a lot of our people to stupid things, but also illness. And it's just sad, but at least we're there to help them. I'm a lifetime member. For any of you out there, it only costs $300 to be a lifetime member, and it is tax deductible. I'm not doing a plug for them, but
do one.
You're allowed to do a plug. That's part of the reason you're here. So.
Yeah. But I did it only because I was doing well and financially, and it's like, what's $300? No big deal. And if it helps somebody else, that's what my whole purpose in life, I believe, is. And that's why the award I showed earlier, the Jason Sanders Humanitarian Award, because of all the charities I did.
Nice.
So my real opinion is, you've got to give back. You've got to pay it forward in any way you can. And that's one of the things I do.
Yeah. And of course, if you want to get a membership, whether it's a yearly or lifetime membership, you just have to go to caulifloweralleyclub.org and sign up. And this event coming up, we're going to be down there this year for the first time doing a whole lot of live streaming and helping out with the ceremony a little bit. This is going to be I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll talk to you.
Well, that would be nice.
Big league us maybe or something.
Yeah, that's all right. I get big leagued.
Okay, then I won't.
I get big leagued all the time by my own co-host, so it's all good.
Come on, man.
I'm used to it. But tell everybody a little bit about this event, because this is going to be just a great time here in Las Vegas. And if you're a pro wrestling fan, I think missing out on this is just going to be a huge mistake. What a fun time this is going to be.
It is. And for the fans, I mean, you get to get up close and personal with most of the workers. what we call the gimmick room, the merchandise room. A lot of them are in there selling their pictures. You know, you can take pictures with them, things like that. I used to have a booth there for many years, but, you know, I got tired of doing that and decided I wanted to go have fun in Vegas.
Yeah.
But for most people, yeah, you can come in, shake hands, you know, like I said, get a picture, ask questions, things like that of, you know, all the old workers. I mean, I'm thrilled because Coco Beware is going to be there. I haven't seen Coco and haven't traveled with him for years back in the indie circuit. I mean, of course, WWF, but then the indies, we worked together. Well, one of Brian Blair's best friends was Paul Orndorff, and Paul and I also traveled together. I met Paul through Brian. And the last time I saw him at the CAC, he was quite deep into Alzheimer's and dementia. I'm not sure which or both that he had. And I remember walking towards him. He saw me and he was like, you know, and so I knew the wheels were turning. He remembered. And so I started telling him stories of what we did back on the road and where we went and who we worked for. You know, great guy. I love Paul too. And it was just so sad that, you know, the illness had to take him. But, you know, but that's our friendship, you know, going to the CAC and seeing people we haven't worked with in years or people we just worked with last year. I mean, it is a family, but as a fan, you can come and see you'll see everybody that's there and you get a chance to talk to most of them.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. And, you know, I recommend for the younger wrestlers too, like Damian, for example. You know, you guys ought to round up the gang and come on down, David. I think you'd really get a lot out of it.
Yeah, if I have nothing going on that weekend, I definitely will try to make an appearance and meet Al in person for sure.
Yeah, it's a weekday.
One of the biggest things is the seminars, especially for the younger workers. Because, you know, I gave a seminar years ago on how I transferred in from wrestling into acting. But it's for all the younger wrestlers. You know, you think, oh, I'm invincible. I'm going to last forever. Guess what? Your career's over. Boom. Now what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking more the next stages of your life. Be prepared for that.
I actually had a quick question for you, Al, if you don't
Yes,
mind. So I've been a big movie fan before I was in doing pro wrestling and stuff. So would you have any advice, like kind of getting into that? Because I'm kind of slowly looking into like kind of pursuing like stunts and all that stuff. So if you had any like quick little advice to like I could look into or something.
In Vegas, you are lucky because you do have some things working there. And I know because I've got a guy that lives up in Pahrump that he's former law enforcement. He doesn't do stunts, but, you know, he does a fair amount of acting. He doesn't get anywhere near the acting over there that we get in Hollywood, of course. But,
Right.
yeah, find me in Vegas and we'll talk and I'll, you know, line you up with stuff. And it's like wrestling. You got to get out there. You got to promote yourself. Let people know I'm here. This is what I can do. One of the biggest keys to acting is, especially commercially, you have to dress the part.
Right.
Well, if they're asking for a cop, I've got, you know, probably 25, 30 police uniforms, all different agencies. Some are real. So when I walk into an audition in uniform, I can't walk on the street with the whole uniform, but I get dressed, walk into there, and, you know, I've had people chew me out like, oh, God, the real cops are here. You know, why don't you leave it to the actors? I'm like, yeah, sit down, boy. A cowboy. I mean, I just did another cowboy thing. I hadn't worked for this guy for probably 10 years. He remembered me, called me up and says, I want to do a fight scene with you. Are you willing? I'm like, yeah, cool. Well, I got the full cowboy outfit. So being able to dress the part is huge. So as an actor, I mean, one thing I'm kind of sad about, back when I left, you know, my world of wrestling way back when, and then came back to it, I got rid of all my snakeskin boots. I mean, that was our big thing back then. We, you know, and my boots were not cheap boots, but I thought, okay, you know, the part of my life's over. And then I get a call from Toronto and like, will you come up here and, you know, do a series of matches and blah, blah, blah. So I went back into it. God, I wish I had my snakeskin boots. Well, now they've kind of come back into style and I don't have them. I mean, I bought other ones, obviously, but to dress the part, you know, when you do it, a quick side story. When I did LMFAO, Sorry for Party Rocking, Red Pooh's sitting there and he's looking at all these pictures, on the table, and I'm up there with like 5 people, I think. And he goes, okay, yeah, this is this. That's our cop. And oh, wow, there's our cop. I was hired right there. Oh, yeah. Because I've got a real uniform. I look the part. That is the biggest key. And yeah, I tell people, you can get to do things that people all over the world watch and wish they could do. You get to do it. So take the opportunity you can and work it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Absolutely. And before you go, I can't let you out of here without asking you about that wedding singer scene with Billy Idol. I'm sure a million people ask you about that. But just real quick, tell us a little bit about how you got into that and what that was like to do that, because people really remember that scene.
I remember when I first auditioned for it, it was actually for David Lee Roth. It wasn't Billy Idol. And so I went in and auditioned, and then, oh, yeah, that was great. Good news, bad news. We want you to come back and do it for the director. The bad news, it's in 4 hours back here.
Oh, wow.
So, drove home, sat there for 3 hours, drove back, did the audition. Almost a full month later, I get a call from my agent going, you got the part. And I'm like, what part? I haven't been out in a while. I'm like, the wedding singer. That night, they couriered over the script. So I read the script, see it's, Billy Idol at that point. But I'm like, oh, my God, this is such a chick flick. I didn't think any guys would ever like this movie. Amazing. The guys go, oh, my God, I love that movie. And, yeah, it's become near and dear to my heart. In fact, I just got another check that I put in this morning.
Nice.
From the wedding singer. I get 4 checks every year. I have, what was that, 94, 95, I believe. So almost 20 years ago, I'm still getting paid. Yeah, it's awesome.
That is awesome.
But when I walked onto the airplane, it was an airplane sitting in a studio on Universal's backlot. I walk in and Adam turns to Billy Idol and goes, hey, there's your bodyguard. Like, oh, okay, cool. This is cool. Well, then Adam Sandler played with Billy Idol and his band at the wrap party for 2 hours, so a private concert to all of us. Oh, nice. After that, Adam's over talking to me. He goes, yeah, I saw your videotape that you submitted, your reel, and I picked you. He goes, you're really funny. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not funny. You're funny. I'm nobody.
Wow.
But anyways, so that was, a little feather in the hat. I thought, oh, my career is going to blow up after this. It didn't. Yeah, going for an audition. Oh, my God, you're in The Wedding Singer. I love that picture. Oh, yeah, you're not going to get
not the guy.
Next.
Well, you're our guy, Al. So it's all
you're my guy. Hey, when you come out, bring some of those royalty checks. We'll go down to Chica's Benitez, get a couple of the boys, man.
Oh my God, no, you did.
Well, a quick story. 1 year, Carl Lauer, who got me my first job, I was telling you, always gave me a bad time. None of us got paid for that movie. We all got stiff. Carl was actually an investor in the movie. So he always gave me a bad time. You never paid me for the movie. You never gave me any money back. So I had a residual check from one of my soap operas for 1 penny.
Oof.
So I framed it, and I gave it to him at the Cauliflower event back when it was at the Gold Coast, probably 8 years ago, maybe a little longer. Just like, okay, now will you shut up here? I'm paying you back.
Nice. Oh, man.
But, yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's like wrestling. When you think back to, I worked here, and I don't know, Damian, if you had opportunities to go on tours. I mean, we would travel 2 or 3 weeks straight, traveling cross country here, there, wherever. And that wasn't WWF. That was the Indies. What an experience. I mean, even that, we talk about those trips and the fun we had. And yeah, by the time we got home, we were dead tired. And 2 days later, it was like, I got to get back on the road. That was good.
Yeah, I haven't had any tours as of yet. I mean, I've done a couple of loops and stuff. A couple years ago, I was in China for 2 months. And,
cool. Did you wrestle there?
Yeah, we wrestled there. We were actually teaching a bunch of these guys they were all Chinese filmmakers and stuff, and they had a bunch of kids who were like my age or a little older, and they wanted to teach them pro wrestling and American style, like, because all they knew is real fighting, martial arts. So me and a couple of my other coaches and friends, we went there teaching them how to be like larger than life, telling stories and stuff. So wrestling wise, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience, but being a fan of the culture and all that, as a fan of that, it was an amazing experience too as well.
Yeah, I've worked in China before, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So not wrestling. I did a movie over there, but being able to do it as a wrestler, and then eventually, I mean, that's kind of my goal. I want to hit every continent out there. I've worked in every state, so that's not a problem. So that's not a problem. But yeah, a couple trips to Africa, a couple trips to China. I did a commercial and wrestled in Japan. Nice. Which a lot of guys never get to do. And yeah, you talk about brutal. That's brutal. It took me at least a week to start walking halfway right.
Wow.
But you got to give them something, and I gave him my front leg. It's like, yeah, go ahead and kick the crap out of you. I got big, strong legs. And, ooh, ow. But being able to do that. So set your sights farther off, if you come to the CAC, I can introduce you to the guys from Canada. They do a tour that starts on like the East Coast and goes all the way across to the West Coast.
Oh, wow.
Now, most of the time, I think that's reserved for Canadians, and I know getting into the country is tough because Canada does not want us Americans coming up there taking their work.
Right.
So, but if possible, if somebody would give you a shot, stuff like that is invaluable. You look back and like, oh my God, yeah, being on tour, this is cool. This is to me, that's what wrestling really was, tour and working different territories. And you got to find the territories that are willing to hire you, and then you pitch yourself, and then you work that territory. So that's another cool thing.
For sure.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, if I'm able to come to CAC, I'll search you out. If not, I will definitely find you on social media for sure. And
sounds good.
Hit you up.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
he'll be there.
Yeah,
he'll be there.
Well, Al, we got to wrap it up, but tell everybody where they can find you here real quick.
The easiest place is on Instagram, alburke4782, I believe it is. I mean, that's where I'm taking most of the fans and things now. When I did Billie Eilish's video, I think I've got 15 or 20,000 fans just of hers from all over the world. Cardi B, I mean, I got like 10,000 of her fans because I did her album cover. So I found that that's really good for the fans, where Facebook is more for the industry. And I still get hired off of Facebook, directors and casting directors going, hey, will you do my movie? I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's the easiest place to find me, is probably Instagram.
All right. Well, Al, what a pleasure to have you on the show. We want to thank you for coming on, and we're going to look forward to seeing you at the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion here at the end of August.
Yeah, we will talk and sit down, and we might have a beer or two if that's on your menu.
Or 3 or 4 or 5.
Let's go straight to the whiskey, my friend. That's what I like.
Chicas.
I gave up on those days. Those were tour days.
Okay, I'll do the beer then. It's all good. Al, thank you so much for coming on the Mark Hoke Show. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care.
There you go. Al Burke, everybody, joined us here on the Mark Hoke Show. That was a blast. So want to thank Al for coming on the show. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, great guy, man. I love his energy. And I look forward to meeting him in person, man. We're going to Chica's. I like this guy.
Fair enough. Well, before we go to Chica's, we got to go to commercial break. So what do you say we take care of that? And then we're going to wrap the show up.
So it's dance time.
Tune into the video on all social medias at the Mark Hoke Show. We are going to have the dance-off live on air during the commercial break, guys. I'm excited. I know that David is excited more than anyone. I
know.
He's been hyping it up, so be ready.
All right, everybody, stick around. We'll be back to wrap up the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, best in pro wrestling news and entertainment.
Infinite Wellness can help you achieve your goals and look and feel your best. Our regenerative medicine clinic utilizes stem cell and exome therapy. We also have a comprehensive weight loss program and numerous other services you can find on our website at infinitewellness.info. We're located at 8925 West Post Road, Suite 100, right across from IKEA. You can book your appointment today by calling us at 702-842-2244 or find us on social media at infinitewellness.lv. We'd love to be a part of your journey.
If you're looking for an award-winning dining experience at outstanding prices, look no further than Unique Eats. Whether it's their incredible breakfast platters, amazing pastas and sandwiches, or world-renowned pizzas, celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco will have you covered. Check out their coffee and smoothie bar, vegetarian options, catering, and top-flight service. Visit Unique Eats today at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100. Call 702-992-3038 or go to uniqueeatslv.com, and we'll see you all at Unique Eats.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, this is Mark Hoke of The Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN.
Twinkle toes.
And I hate every one of you.
You won, man.
I won by forfeit. That doesn't...
Well, you're too good. You said you took, 4 years of dance class?
I didn't take 4 years of dance classes.
Well, how many years? Because, man, I saw some skills in there.
I did, too.
He was doing the hands, and he was moving back and in space. And
I actually did take a few dance classes in college, believe it or not.
I didn't, so you win.
Yeah, he didn't know you had the twerk going like that.
My dance lessons were on Just Dance on Xbox and Wii.
See,
that's it.
Well, you win.
You're
win,
locked
Mark.
in on that.
I'm gonna get you a trophy for next week, man. That was a hell of a job, man.
Put a plaque and everything, bro.
Yeah, let's make that a clip and let's share that to the world, man. Put some good music on.
Damian's mom wants to know where's your dance moves at.
He's got nothing.
I don't claim to do stuff I don't do. You know, I don't claim to do stuff I don't do. I mean, I got moves, but I'm not a dancer, if I could say that.
The David difference, Jose Volonte and guest Damian Drake joining us. I want to thank Al Burke for joining us, by the way. That was a great time with Al.
Yeah.
Fun stuff,
Great guest.
And we're going to be having more from the Cauliflower Alley Club as the weeks go on before we get to the reunion at the Plaza coming up August 28th through the 30th. What a great time that's going to be, guys. I cannot wait. We're going to be live streaming out there. It should be just a fantastic time. Get to meet some of your all-time favorites and make sure you get tickets for that banquet too.
Yeah.
The banquets are going to be off the chain.
I can say there's so many wrestlers in Las Vegas, independent young cats. If that's what I want to do with my life, that's the place I'm going to be at. There will be no excuses. I would be in the building for that. I mean, I'm going to be in the building, but I'm saying if you can get in there with that, there's so much knowledge and game going on in that building and life lessons, man. Get in there, get down there.
Well, and being a part of that organization, I think, is important too, because I mean, you help out the people, especially if you're, a young wrestler like Damian, for example, you're helping out the people that came before you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important. And you get to be part of that brotherhood and sisterhood and really, feel like you're a part of that family, instead of being out there on your own. So, I get it. It's like I said, it's $25, get a membership.
Build relationships.
That's what you do.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You know what you do? You dance. You dance, man. You're good at that.
Stop it.
The 4 years kicking in right there.
Yeah. 4 years, man.
I don't think I've danced for a long time.
Well,
showed me wrong.
I was going to say it looked like it.
Thank you.
It was very good, Mark.
All right. By the way, we also have a show announcement. We're going to be at Unique Eats on the 27th. We should be doing a little meet and greet starting around 11:30. We're still waiting for the official start time because we're going to be, watching a little bit of some AEW action that day, if you know what card that is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
This is happening?
Yeah, so we're going to have some food and, probably have a few guests out there. Should be a great time. So come out and meet the team and whoever else tags along. And Damian, it's free food.
Sounds good to me. I like free food.
Hold on, that wasn't the deal.
For
Hold on.
For the talent, for everybody
let's
that's
take
coming.
That back. I don't know. Yeah, we'll come out with an official press release. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
he launching
Don't say free food to everybody.
Not free food for everybody.
Everyone's going to show up. I'm here for the free food.
I'm talented. We got to specify, man. Let's reel back. We'll announce it next
free
week.
food.
Our talent will be taken care of.
Yeah.
So, but it should be a great time. So we love to see you. Come on out there on the 27th of August. Day before the CAC reunion, so it's going to be a busy week for us, to say the least. Right, David?
Yeah, you don't. Man, there's so much going on right now.
I know
in the world of us and what we got going and what we're building, and it's insane. And a lot of people are complaining about my time And I'm like, well, leave my life then. Because this is what I do.
Step into my shoes.
This is what I do.
Well, we got about 30 seconds
This is what I do.
for Damian. So, Damian, where can everybody see you perform and catch you, buddy? I'm sure you got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, I got, like you said, I got a lot going on, but you can definitely catch me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Also, I try every week or bi-weekly on YouTube. I post like a bunch of videos. It's called Drake's World, which is my little series. It's anything and everything I want to do in love, whether you like it or not.
Nice.
I do a bunch of I do a bunch of my box openings for my figures I collect. Okay. I'm really, again, like I said, I'm a big movie buff, so I'm trying to do movie reviews. Pretty much, and I'm on TikTok, even though I don't really post on TikTok. I don't really see the point of TikTok, but Twitter and Instagram are both at Damian Drake LV. TikTok, it was before I started doing the 80s thing. It's D Drake 96, and then of course you can catch me on Facebook at Damian Drake as well. And for the record, it's DAMIAN, not EN. Everybody gets it confused. It's AN. DAMIAN. I almost lost my own spelling right there.
Pull it together, man. Pull it together.
Man. After almost 10 years of doing this, I almost forgot how to spell my own name.
That's okay. A couple shots to the head. It's all right.
Yeah.
All right.
I dropped them out a lot.
Guys, thank you so much. And we want to thank all of you out there for listening and follow us on live streams as well. We do appreciate it. David Difference.
And that's
Jose
the
Volonte.
difference.
Awesome job. Thank you. Of course, Damian Drake and Al Burke, thanks for joining us on the show. We appreciate it.
Another one.
Yep. We will see you guys next week here on the Mark Hoke Show. Make sure you follow us on all our socials. Just look up Mark Hoke Show. We're everywhere. MarkHokeShow.com is the website. We'll see you next week on KDAWN. Stop it.
Yes.
Have a great day, Las Vegas.
Leave it up.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show. Like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show. And visit MarkHokeShow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.